Hey, Facebook Live and wherever you're getting your streaming right now. Actually, I'm going to ask Karen if she can come over here and turn on this light just to light me up a little bit. We're following some breaking news and some good news, actually, for the first time in a little bit. You see it there on your screen. We're following that news of one of the officers, the second officer, and momentarily, at any moment, will soon be released from Memorial. If you are watching us right now, we are inside of the WNDU newsroom. My name is Joshua Short. Following this breaking news right now, we are the only team in Michiana that is here at Memorial. We are working right now to get the first images of one of the officers, Patrolman Ethan Pasternak. On the force 2 years, he was in, from what we understand, fair and stable condition, fair but stable, ICU, from what the chief of Elkhart Police said. For those of you who have not been following the last few days, this is after that shooting on Monday night that happened in Elkhart. This is, of course, the Martin shooting, where two people died, lost their lives in that shooting. Two officers were hit. They were hurt. One was released the same night from the hospital. That was Corporal Paul Vandenburg. And now we are waiting to show you images. In fact, I am going to take you to Memorial Hospital. And this is a live look right now as we are waiting on the release of that second officer from the hospital, Patrolman Ethan Pasternak. He is one of the heroes from that night. We are following the story for you, obviously, since the very beginning, and we're going to continue to do so. And as we do that, I want to bring up the images of both officers as we wait for the release of that officer. I want to show you guys those images here. You're going to see Paul Vandenburg on your left. You are going to see, as I remove this bug, you're also going to see Ethan Pasternak on your right. Pasternak is the one who will be released at any moment. I want to take you back and have you listen to what's happening at Memorial. I want to show you this because we are the only team there. We want to be able to tell all angles of this story. This is probably one of the most important ones, the heroes of that night who helped save more lives. Something that the mayor told me literally within hours of the shooting. He said to me that this could have been far worse. As bad as it was, this situation could have been far worse. What you are seeing right now is that live look from Memorial Hospital. Our team is there, and we appreciate all of you watching right now. I'm not sure how many are watching, but I can only imagine the number of people who are interested. We got, just to give you what I'm seeing here, and I'm inside of the newsroom, we've got kids there. We've got other officers there from Elkhart. I see the chief of Elkhart Police, if I'm not mistaken. That is him right here. I believe that's the back of his head. I could be wrong. Or he is there, I would assume. We're also seeing some folks who you've seen on TV before. Public safety officials there. The Elkhart brothers and sisters are there. I'm looking closely. St. Joe County Police there. South Bend Police there. St. Joe County as well. Just looking based on the people and faces I recognize right now is what you're seeing as we are waiting for that officer to be released here. I'm going to bring up their pictures momentarily. Don, I know you are out there. You hear me. I appreciate you and thank you. Here's some of the sound now. I'm going to just stop talking for a moment so you can just hear what's happening. Hey, Don, forgive me. I know I hear you in the background there. I am pausing for a second just so that folks at home who are just now watching us on the 16 News Now stream on our website, WNDU.com, or at home on Facebook Live, I want to make sure that they hear what you're hearing there. And so I paused for just a second. We are waiting on the release of that second officer who was in ICU, but in fair and stable condition after he was shot by the now deceased gunman in that shooting at Martin's from early this week in Elkhart on Jackson Street, or Jackson Boulevard in Elkhart. The neighborhood Martin's, as so many people have called it there. We are waiting on his release right now. Again, we are the only team there bringing you these images. And for good reason, we have been on top of this story from the very beginning and doing so in the most respectful way, trying our best to tell all angles of this story. Since the very beginning, we tried our best to avoid reporting on the rumors that were flying around on social media. Our team has obviously brought you images from this morning at Martin's when it opened back up. And now we're bringing you these images from Memorial Hospital, where, again, we are trying our best to get the first look at this officer who is now going to be greeted by so many police officers from South Bend, from St. Joe County, from Elkhart County, the Elkhart Police Department. Chiefs of police are there. We are seeing that. We're seeing multiple public safety officials there as well. We are, again, just waiting on that, and you can imagine the applause and the pleasantries that will be greeted upon him when he comes out. I'm going to show you a picture of who we're talking about here. The officer we're waiting on is on your right, Ethan Pasternak. Paul Vandenburg, who's on your left, has already been released from the hospital after they were both shot in the line of duty. Heroes from Monday night in Elkhart. I want to take you back to that scene now and have you all listen in. All right, everybody. Joshua Short with you. If you can hear me, forgive me. I want to give you guys the latest update on what we're waiting on right now. We are waiting on the second officer involved in that shooting from Monday night in Elkhart to be released from this hospital. You are seeing the only video right now from that location. We are the only team here. Thanks to our indefatigable team of reporters and multiple sources, they told us that expect the release to be pretty grand. And you can see it for yourself here. Here are the two officers who were involved. I don't think I'm overstating by saying this. They are heroes. Paul Vandenburg, who you see on the left, has been released already. He was released the night of that shooting. Ethan Pasternak is who we're waiting on your right, who was said to be in fair but stable condition after he was in ICU Monday night he was shot along with Paul. 2 others lost their lives after a man just, for unknown reasons, engaged them in a shootout. I'm going to take you back to the live picture now, where we are still waiting on their release. I'm going to bring up the image momentarily of me in the newsroom, but I don't think anybody cares about seeing me at this moment. I think everybody wants to see that officer, that hero. And that is what we are waiting on. We're told that would be about 8 minutes away from now. That is what we are still waiting on. I'm trying to do my best and look at Facebook as well. I know a lot of folks have questions. I'm going to try my best to answer them. Forgive me if you have not been up to date on this story. I'll give you a little bit of a brief here momentarily. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to stand by on this live shot as we see Community Relations for Memorial Hospital, Lynn Coleman standing there as well at that entrance. I want to, I'm going to turn that down for just a second to give you guys a little bit of a brief of what we've learned as we await for that officer to be released. And I'm looking repeatedly to make sure that we have that on standby. For those who are just joining me, we of course are following this story. We've been following it since Monday. I am going to try my best not to say the shooter, now deceased shooter's name in this Facebook Live. He is no longer with us, obviously, and it is because of the heroes that is the case. Because as the mayor of Elkhart told me following Monday's night shooting at the Jackson Boulevard Martins, this could have been far worse. And so it is because of 2 officers and others who went toward the danger, and we are waiting on one of those 2 officers right now. There are several children, Army vets, military vets in general, who are waiting for his release. Based on the images that I've seen, you're seeing community relations personnel from Elkhart, from St. Joe County, from Elkhart County, from South Bend, all here waiting. You've got police officers standing in front from Elkhart Police Department, but behind them in this line, as we looks like we may have, there you go. It looks like we had a little bit of a glitch, but we're good now, Don, if you can hear me. We had Elkhart here behind them. Thank you, Don. We have St. Joe County right behind them. South Bend Police behind them. Elkhart County Sheriffs, I can assume they're here as well. And other officers around our area, just based on the faces that I see here and some of the badges as well and the emblems on those badges. Joshua Short with you in our WNDU newsroom. Memorial Hospital, just to give you guys a sense if you're not from our area, Memorial Hospital South Bend is straight south of us, about 5 minutes of a drive. Our team, the only one here right now, something tells me that'll change. The reason I say that is because so many of you have trusted us to tell the story the right way. And because of that, we were privy to some information today that this would happen. And we wanted to show you that because we know so many of you have had questions about the officers, the heroes in this. We are still waiting on the release of one of those officers. The officer, Corporal Paul Vandenburg, 7+ years on the force, has already been released. He was released the same night within hours of the shooting from Monday night in Elkhart. We are awaiting Patrolman Ethan Pasternak, who has been in the hospital ever since Monday night when he was shot. He is just about 2 years on the force in Elkhart. One of the heroes here. I want to show you their pictures because you can't get enough of just looking at these guys, these heroes, true heroes. And we don't like to say that word in the news business because we have to be right down the middle. But there is no other way that you can, no other adjective you can use to describe these 2 men. As I said just moments ago, things could have been far worse. And so it is because, in part, because of these 2, why we want to cover this story, because it is important to us. Someone said, thank you for live streaming a very huge moment. That is our web team. Our web team, I just walked into work. They said, you got to go live. I said, you got it. So you can thank them. Our web team is smart about that stuff. And our news managers as well, understanding not only the attention paid to the story, but also the curiosity surrounding the two officers involved. Usually with these situations, and we can't speak because they're all different, usually with these situations, you'll have all the officers. There's pomp, obviously, when these officers are released. Their families are usually here. We can only assume family members are here. And then, of course, the family in blue, they are here as well. And so that's what we're witnessing right now as this line continues to grow. Don, I don't know if you can pan left and see the rest of that line as it is continuing to grow and as it's continued to grow since we've been live here over the last 15 minutes of officers, community relations folks, normal people. I mean, you can see they are excited. Children there as well. They are excited because we know this could have been different. We know how this could have looked. We understand these officers who put their lives in danger to prevent any more people from dying in this shooting. Obviously, we've lost 2 lives. We've told you about that story. It is on WNDU.com. We've talked to you about that. Benjamin Jeffrey is one of them. We told you about that. He is been talked about so much in the community since his death because of how involved he was in the community. And so that is something that we paid attention to. And then we also have the young 19-year-old who so many called Annie, who lost her life as well. I had a conversation with her mother and sister yesterday, and they are hurting, but they are so thankful because they want people at home to understand the truth of what they know so far. And we know there's been so much speculation, so much information that has not been technically helpful to any of us, misinformation specifically about what may have happened inside the store. We are hoping to get updates from police any moment now as to what happened inside that store. We are waiting on the lead investigators to give us answers to our questions. And trust me, we are continuing to ask questions. Tracy, I appreciate you, Tiffany, and all the other folks who are watching. We've got about 500 people watching on Facebook Live. We've got some folks who are watching on our digital platforms, wherever you get your streaming as well, and on WNDU.com. I am going to take this back full so you guys can see, and I'm going to take it back so that you guys can hear as well. And once he comes out, you will hear that live on Facebook. I won't say a word. I want to put you guys there. I want to put you here if you're not able to be there because we know so many folks have wondered about specifically this latest officer, Ethan Pasternak, who is still in the hospital at this moment. Stand by, stand by.
He's on his way down right now, so if you guys can kind of line up.
He is on his way down right now. He is on his way down right now from what we understand. And that is the announcement coming from an Elkhart police officer. So he is on his way down. So we are waiting on his reaction. We will see it as you will as well. We're going to all see it at the same time. And I'm going to take you back to that image. This is what we are waiting on right now. And a lot of folks there are waiting with bated breath for the 2-year patrolman from Elkhart, Ethan Pasternak. On a day like today where there's so much happening in our world, and it just seems like the last several weeks there have been a lot of people who have been going through a lot of tough times and loss and tragedies of their own. We can use some of this good news here, and that good news is the officer who will soon be released from the hospital, Patrolman Ethan Pasternak. We're moments away from seeing that reaction along with you. Keep in mind, you're talking about a department that's very close-knit. Elkhart County in general has gone through a lot this past week. The homicide unit there in that county has been investigating a couple of fatal shootings there. So we're thinking about those first responders and officers as well. We're thinking about those who were involved in this incident from the Martins a few days ago. We've been following that story from the beginning, obviously. We're moments away, it seems like, as things get more and more quiet. And then we'll see the moment with you as well. All right, friends, we're moments away from that release soon. I am texting a few sources, so forgive me. So what I want to bring your attention to are a few things. You probably noticed this. I don't have to tell you. So you've got fire officials here as well. You've got police from multiple jurisdictions here. You also have residents. It looks like folks from St. Joe County, Elkhart counties as well. And then when you swing the other way, you're noticing it looks like what appears to be possibly family members, loved ones, people who know Ethan Pasternak, the patrolman who is the last of the two officers to be released. He is going to be released momentarily from the hospital. Look at that long line. I mean, it tells you everything you need to know about the support surrounding this, not only this man, but this department in this city. I think a lot of people that shouldn't be lost, and I think we're seconds away here. So I am going to show you this. Here we go. A brief acknowledgement of the crowd, no words spoken, no words needed. You heard the applause from all of those who are there, the dozens who are outside of South Bend Memorial, looking on to a powerful moment. What I think I saw there, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, both officers walked out of that hospital with a sling on their arm. We're going to try and have that video back for you guys as you can hear the response and the reaction. The moment palpable and powerful. You are seeing Elkhart police now in a well-deserved escort back to Elkhart, one can assume, or to the area that is Elkhart County for those two officers, Ethan Pasternak and Paul Vandenburg. It looks like people are now beginning to leave. In that short moment, brief moment, powerful moment, we just saw something special. And we were the only ones in town to give you that vantage point. We saw heroes, and we saw two of them, both of them. We were told that Patrolman Ethan Pasternak would be released today. And we saw not one, but both officers appearing to have slings on their arms. I want to work that video back, Katie. I think you are. Thank you, Katie. Let me know where it is and I can just grab it. And I want to show folks who are just joining us who may have missed it the moment they walked out. You now are seeing their faces along with the injuries. There's the chief of police. That is the Elkhart chief of police there. So I want to make sure that he may or may not say anything here. I want to show you guys the images that we're seeing back at Memorial. I don't know if Emma can hear me. I know Emma was listening in as well, our reporter on scene there. I don't know if Emma wants to join me here and talk a little bit about what she saw and what she heard. If not, that's fine, Don. I know you guys are actively working this story right now. But if she is able, if she gets in front of a camera, I will take it. The chief and other folks with Elkhart who are waving there, you're seeing Elkhart Fire as well. That chief for that department speaking out yesterday and this week, the mayor of Elkhart and so many others speaking about this incident from Monday night. Again, this is all connected to the Martins incident from Monday night where 2 people lost their lives. And I am on standby. I can see you, Don. Folks at home cannot see you. If Emma does decide to get in front of a camera, I will be ready for her. But we are working to, as we say, re-rack that video so you can see the moment, just in case you did not see it, and then I'll be able to find it. But it's just a really powerful moment. I'm looking at my side because I'm talking to my manager.
You gotta pause that camera because she gotta do an interview real fast.
Got it. So that camera is off, Don. You are good to go. If you have to do an interview right now, I'm just being told you may have to do that. Your camera is off, your sound is off, you are good to go. Katie is working to put that video in so we can show you once more because it really gave us chills watching. I want to try my best to go to WNDU right now and see what you guys are saying and see if there are any questions right now about what you just saw. Forgive me if I'm not doing the best job and effectually giving you everything at once and because it's a lot. So forgive me. And I literally just walked in the door moments before this happened, and I couldn't have been happy to help bring you this coverage because I think a lot of people had those questions about the officers, and now we saw both of those officers there. If you're just joining me right now, my name is Joshua Short. We are inside of the WNDU studio newsroom, right down the road from Memorial, South Bend, where you just saw live that reaction from the community and from brothers and sisters in blue who saw the release of the second officer. But you notice something, and this just tells a story about the community, the officers involved, the people there. I believe Corporal Vandenburg joined him as well and wanted to make sure he was alongside his brother. We saw them both, if I'm not mistaken, based off what I'm being told and based off what you've seen, we saw these two. And it was powerful to see them through such a really tough, hard week for those in Elkhart. As of right now, Kevin, we have not gotten word of any public appreciation ceremony, but I can tell you what you just saw was that. Those words you put in that comment is what we just saw. It wasn't official in any way. Again, our team doing a stellar job of just telling this story with care, doing so responsibly, and because of that, we got word that this would be happening. And as far as I know, unless something has changed, our cameras were there, and our cameras were there for a reason. This was not a media release. We did not get this officially. We were told this from folks who trusted our team to be there and to tell the story the right way, knowing so many people, so many of you cared. Looks like we have that video. I am going to upload this video so that you all can see what we just saw seconds ago of those 2 officers who were released from Memorial. I'm going to show you that right now. This is from moments ago. And I'm going to pause it there. You see them both? That was the moment they walked out. That's just a brief look at the moment they walked out here. I'm going to ask Katie or Karen or someone, is that just the only one we have in about 11 seconds? Okay, then I'm overlooking it. Got it. Thank you. I want to show you guys the entire video in full. So give me a moment as I try to be director and producer and anchor at the same time and try to find this video. You said OTT, right? Yep. Thank you. And thank you. Perfect. Okay. Got it. It might be saving still, but I'll look here momentarily. I want to make sure that folks at home see this. And it is under where? Got it. Got it. Thank you. All right, I'm going to try and show you this once more. Here is the moment in full. I'm going to try and bring this up for you guys to see and hear. How close something else could have happened. How close that, I mean, it's hard to even think that way, but just, it is almost hard to put into words that moment. And you see the family members flanking both of them. You saw both of them would appear to be injuries to their left arms or upper body area. That is the first time we've seen that. That is the first time you are seeing that as well. Most of you, many of you. So many people from around our area saying, heroes, thank you for your service. Thank you, Katie, for doing that and turning that video so quickly. It is not always that quick. So for anyone in this newsroom, we've got a lot of stuff going on at once. So really appreciate it. I wanted you all to see that. We're going to show it one more time before we say goodbye. I want to back up for a second and tell you what we know as part of our continuing coverage of the shooting that took place at Martin's on Monday. So for those of you who have not heard at this point, there was a shooting that took place inside of the Martin's on Jackson. It happened on Monday night. I don't have any notes in front of me, so forgive me. I'm going to try my best by memory to tell you everything that we know. The investigation is ongoing. Monday night, there was a shooting that happened inside of a store. Things ended up outside. Based on what we know right now, because this is based off of what we've been told by witnesses and by those who are directly impacted. As this investigation continues, it's hard to get any type of update right now from those leading this investigation at the prosecutor's office in Elkhart County for obvious reasons, but we're still asking, and we will see what we find out. There was a shooting that happened just before 6 o'clock. In fact, just around 5:30 in this newsroom, right over my shoulder, there are speakers in the ceiling. Embedded in those ceilings, you can hear scanners from all around our area. And it was Monday night when we just had the right folks in the right place at the right time who just so happened to hear horror on those scanners. We sent a team out there. We would later learn that multiple people were shot. 2 people lost their lives, 2 officers hurt. The 2 people who lost their lives, one of them, Benjamin Jeffrey, we're now hearing so many stories about his involvement and dedication to his community, to his church, to his family. He lost his life trying to help in a situation inside of that store, is how we understand it. The other person who lost her life, a 19-year-old, Anna Sue Rota, lost her life as a result of what happened in that store when that shooter, whose name I will not say on this Facebook Live, engaged folks in a shootout. After he shot those 2 inside the store, he would then go outside, engaging those 2 officers who you just saw walk out seconds ago. And those 2 officers were shot before they returned fire, killing the suspect, who just moved to the area within the past year from Illinois. That is all we know about him at this time. We are asking questions. It is hard to do what we need to do at this point when it comes to little information about the suspect, because the name is very common in not just this area, but this region. So we can't just pluck documents from online and think this is related to this suspect when we could be wrong, and we're not going to do that. But we are still asking questions and trying our best to confirm specific details about him and any possible criminal background. Back to the 19-year-old. I talked to her family yesterday, and they were very, very emotional. But they wanted to get the word out about the misconceptions and the falsehoods and honestly, rumors that were spreading on Facebook and social media. And as of right now, it appears, based on what the family is telling me, this young victim, this 19-year-old, had no link, no connection whatsoever to the shooter who is now deceased. The only connection they believe, the mom and sister believe, and the family members who I spoke with believe, this could be, the shooter could be the same person she complained about for weeks, about being at work and someone harassing her who was a customer. That is all we know right now. That is fact based on what we've been told from the family members. The other stuff that you're hearing about, we just don't know and cannot confirm because that is something police have not given us per se. But we can tell you what we know because the victims involved directly is the ones who are telling us. These two officers were taken to the hospital. They were escorted to the hospital on the toll road. We know because we had folks in the right place headed to the scene who saw the escort happening going westbound on the toll road to Memorial. One was released from the hospital. That was Paul Vandenburg. I'm going to try and bring that image up so you can see it. Forgive me because I don't know if I have it right now. I can try to bring it up. There we go. Paul Vandenburg was released the same night, 7 years plus on the force in Elkhart. Ethan, who you see on the right, just released today. But the one thing that you notice, they were together. And our cameras captured that moment. It appears that they are doing, obviously walking out under their own power, doing better. But as someone said to me in Elkhart, a source within the city said this could have been far worse based on what they've been told. You hear about these lives who were lost, whether you're talking about Benjamin or whether you're talking about who so many of you know as Annie, lost her life, lost their lives. Annie, in fact, just graduated in 2023, I believe from Elkhart, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have my notes in front of me. I'm just going based off of our reporting. We can tell you that we've asked Martins about if they will be doing anything different, if they are shifting their focus now to more enhanced security measures. We have yet, as of this Facebook Live, to get an update in that regard, but we are still waiting for that. I will keep you posted as to what we find out with regards to that. I can tell you that based on my knowledge and my information and my conversations with someone, there was someone in that store responsible for security. That person actually also ran toward the danger as well. You can only imagine the horrors from folks who witnessed everything that they saw inside of that store on Monday night, including these two officers who engaged the shooter and killed him. I want to show you, before we say goodbye, the moment one more time that those officers together came out of that hospital. And I want to show you that moment. And then we will have more news coming up on these platforms and on WNDU.com tonight at 4 o'clock. I want to show you that moment one more time. One thing you notice as you watch this, that moment. Family members surrounding them as well. Just a moment. What a moment. We're going to wrap up our coverage here as we continue to follow this story. We're going to have the very latest on this, obviously, and any new information we get from Elkhart County. We've made a call every day and an email every day, and we're still waiting to get a little bit more information as we understand there's patients involved in this investigation, as it is painstakingly moving in the direction of trying to figure out exactly why and what. So we are working on that right now, and we will update you and keep you posted as we learn more. But that's the news today, and it is somewhat good breaking news. That patrolman, along with his partner, now bonded forever. That partner, and I say his partner in this case, because that is what will be true from here onward. Ethan and Paul walking out of that hospital together. And that's the image that I want to leave you guys with today. It is almost hard to put into words what you just saw, which is why I want to leave you with that image. We'll see you guys tonight at 4 o'clock.